All right, welcome back in studio this morning. We have Jacqueline Young from the Rock Island Police Department. Thank you so much for waking up so early to join us here on the news. Let's talk about Halloween safety and what people can do out there. What are some tips and some safety tips for people that's going to be out trick-or-treating this year?
Sure, we have a lot of safety tips. Some of the big things that we want to make sure that we're doing is being very aware of traffic. So children should be wearing costumes that are very visible to drivers. We want to make sure that they are, if the costume itself isn't very reflective or visible, they can put reflective tape on, carry glow sticks, those kinds of things. There's a lot of things that residents and everyone else can do as well. So there's a lot of different things that we can do to make sure that we're staying safe.
And for the trick-or-treaters going out there, going up door to door to get the candy, what are some safety tips that they should follow when they go up to a house?
So we want to make sure that you're paying attention to your surroundings, so not going to be on your cell phone or, looking down at some other electronic device. You want to make sure that you're not walking through a yard where you might find, bicycles or other things like that in the road. So sticking to the sidewalks and making sure that you're crossing at the street crossings and following all of the traffic laws and making sure that you're being aware of other drivers.
And speaking of traffic laws and being aware of the other drivers, obviously you got to watch out for the kids because they're not always going to watch out for themselves, right? To make sure
Absolutely.
You go slow and everything through neighborhoods. What are some other tips about driving wise?
Yeah, so drivers can make sure that they are more visible by keeping their headlights on. You want to make sure that you're driving slow and always expect that something could potentially come out into the roadway. And so you are, by going slow, you're preventing, not being able to stop yourself from something like that.
What can residents do to make sure it's safe for trick-or-treaters when they come to their doors?
Yeah, so keeping a neighborhood well lit by keeping your porch lights on is a great way to do that. So checking for burned out bulbs this weekend before the Halloween comes, that's one great thing to do. And making sure that you're keeping, your garden hoses and bicycles off of your porch and yard.
Now, when it comes to kids after they get the candy and they take it home, is it still important for parents to check the candy before the kids consume it?
It's always important to check the candy, especially if your kid has food allergies or things like that. We want to also make sure that the candy or toys that you might get trick-or-treating aren't too small because they could be choking hazards.
Is there anything else that you think parents should know or kids should know as they're going out trick-or-treating for safety tips?
I really just think making sure that you're staying out of the street as much as possible and having fun is the best thing.
Now, if a kid gets lost during trick-or-treating or something like that, what should parents do to maybe try to relocate their kid? Because a lot of times kids run off. You never know what they're thinking or what they
Sure.
might do. So what can the next step be if there's a kid that gets lost?
I think it's a great idea to take a picture of your child while they're in their costume so that we know exactly the last thing that they'd be wearing at that time. Making sure that you're giving, you can call the police department and give a good description, and we'll be out there looking, and we'll be out there enjoying the holiday as much as possible with you guys too.
Awesome. And then obviously the kids and everything can come up to you guys and ask you questions and interact with you guys while you're out there, patrolling and all that good stuff.
Of
too, right?
course, we love that.
Yeah.
We'll probably have candy to hand out too,
Oh,
so
there you go.
trick or treat, ask that, and I'm sure that the officers will be happy to engage in the festivities.
Awesome. Well, Jacqueline, thank you so much for coming out. And again, this is Jacqueline from the Rock Island Police Department, and she shared some Halloween safety tips for us. Trick-or-treating in Rock Island is Monday from 5 to 8 p.m., and you can find more information and a full list of Halloween activities around the Quad Cities at ourquadcities.com.